Having a good day today. I've had a lot of questions recently about the auction. Should they be interested in buying from an auction? How do you get access to a dealer auction? And I thought it'd be a good time to answer some of those questions because I'm actually at the auction right now. I actually have a car coming up here in about 7-8 cars I'm going to be bidding on, so everything goes according to plan. I'll take you inside the auction and give you a look at what it's like to bid. It's nothing fancy. I see a lot of people posting videos online of more expensive cars that they're bidding on. This is a Mercury Montego. This is nothing special. This is it's what the Ford Taurus eventually became. So the Montego took the place of the Mercury Sable. Eventually they brought back the Sable name, but so nothing special. If you're watching this way in the future, this is tax time 2018, pre-tax time, so I'm buying cars that I can sell under $5,000. This should be one of those. I would love to pay between $1,000 and $1,500 for this car. We'll see what happens, so I'll take you inside here in a minute and we'll see how that goes. If you guys have any questions while I'm live, I would love to answer them, on the air. Definitely would love to fill in any gaps you might have about the auction or just anything with flipping in general. If you're watching this in the future at some point, leave a comment and I'll come back to it, and I would love to help you out there. But essentially the auction is a place where cars, specifically for the dealer auctions, are cars that bigger car lots will take their trade-ins to. Some of the bigger dealerships take all of their trade-ins to the auction. Some only take their problem cars. A lot of banks, most banks, I don't want to say all banks, but I believe they're required to take vehicles to the auction or at least sell them in some way. They can't resell them. They can't have their own car lot. Generally, the banks are not going to do that. So they're going to take them to the auction, which is where I'm at right now, so I have access to those. So the one coming up, I'm double checking my run number. I don't want to miss this one. We're run number 113. I believe mine is run number 117, 118. So I've already bought 3 or 4. I've got some if bids. If they don't take your bid right away, they'll put on an if. They're going to call the seller, and then they're going to basically let you know if they can or can't do it, or they might give me a counter offer. But so I bought a Ford Explorer. I forgot what I bought. I bought a little Jaguar. Something else, a GMC Acadia, a Saturn Outlook. I think are the 4. There's an if bid on something, but I forgot what it was. So these are great tax time cars. They're going to be cars that are going to be under, some of them will be under the 5, some will be under 4, some will be under 6, but I'm trying to have things that are in that price range where people could potentially pay cash for them. But how you get access to this auction is by having a dealer's license. There's no other way into this auction unless you have a connection, somebody that has a dealership, and they're going to let you go with them. I see ads where you can pay to get access to a dealer auction. Those are things that do exist. People do that. It's not a long-term strategy because if they get busted, they're not supposed to be doing that. There goes your dealer access. There goes your business. So that's how you get access to this auction. Now there are public auctions all over the country. You can Google public auction, Google your state, Google your town area, towns around you. You'll find them. I'm not a big fan of public auctions just because of the nature of the cars that get sent to the public auctions. A lot of these same auctions can't send their cars to those. The big Chevrolet dealerships, the banks. And they know that people at those auctions aren't as knowledgeable when it comes to cars. So you trying to buy a car to make money on could be bidding against, somebody's mom that needs a minivan. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea the car has a bad transmission, and they're going to bid full price. So sometimes there's not as much margin to be made. I would say most of the time, if not all the time, there's not as much margin to be made at a public auction, and you're not getting the same quality cars that you're getting here. Most of these cars, when they come into the dealership, when they come into the banks, they're never tested. They just get sent straight to the auction. It's up to me to go and test the cars ahead of time, which I did yesterday. John, I'm double checking your question. Do you drive them before? Do you ever bid without checking the vehicle out first? Used to, yes. That is not a good strategy. When I first started out, I had dealer access. When I was a teenager, my dad had his dealer's license, so I could come. We got a Mach 1 coming through right now. So I would come and I'd walk in. If stuff was going to my price range, I'm bidding, I would buy it. I had pretty good luck doing that. The problem is you have no idea if the transmission is any good. You have no idea if the water level is low, so you should check for a blown head gasket. It's not a good strategy. It's something that I do not recommend, is go and buy vehicles without driving them first. You will win some of the times, but most of the time you're not going to. So for me, yes, I look at and drive every single vehicle that I bid on, unless it's a green light vehicle. Green light meaning there's a guarantee. I bought several, I say 2, I bought a couple like that today. So if I, after the auction, get them, I can drive outside of the gate over here, I can drive up and down the road. There's a Highway 70 here in North Carolina. I can get up to 70, 75 miles an hour. I can know for sure if there's an issue. So those green light cars, I don't always drive ahead of time because I can drive after. If there's a problem over $500, I don't have to buy the car. So that being said, yes, I drive every single vehicle that is an as-is car, meaning there's no guarantee. I'm going to make sure that I'm not buying a problem, because there's nothing worse than buying and thinking your profit margin is one thing and then needing a transmission, and there goes your profit, or there goes the majority of it, and if anything, it's just headaches. So yes, I drive every single one. Now at public auctions, you do not always have that option. Actually, most of the time you don't. Some of them won't even let you get in them and start them. Most that I'm aware of will let you start them in place. Now if the vehicle has a dead battery, you're kind of out of luck, so you won't know how the engine sounds. You definitely won't know anything about the transmission. When a car's coming through, like you see right here, at 4.7 miles an hour, there's no way to tell if the transmission's any good. Sometimes I can see them coming from the distance over here. You can listen for that. Sometimes you can hear someone revving up too high, but there's no way to know. So I don't like to gamble on those. What I prefer to do, and this is our car coming up here, again, nothing fancy. This is a tax time car. Got a little scuff in the front. I drove this ahead of time, so I know the transmission's good. I know the engine's good. I know that there are no check engine lights. I take that back. If there is a check engine light, I knew what it was, and it didn't deter me from putting it on my list, so I have to double check that. But I would rather be in the position of knowing if there's issues. That way, when I'm standing there bidding, which you'll see in just a minute, I'll turn the phone around and you'll see me stick out my hand, and if I'm bidding, if it's going to go where I need it to go. But I know that this vehicle is a vehicle that I just need to detail, take care of the scuff. What you don't want to be is right here, checking it out for the first time, and hoping for the best. So I might get it, I might not. We'll see. If the price goes right, maybe I'll come away with this one. This would be a great tax time car, so I'm waiting for it to get a little further up before I go inside, because when I go inside, it's going to be really loud, and you're not going to be able to probably hear me talking. I probably won't talk because I'm like a weirdo holding my phone. But I'm going to go inside here in just a minute when it gets a little further ahead, and you won't hear me. If you see my hand stick out, you're going to know I'm bidding. But this is a 2006 Mercury Montego. We've got 152,000 miles. As you can see, it's leather. How do you know the value? Uh-oh, I'm hitting the wrong buttons, and I'm shutting us down. Hold on. Cancel. Okay, we're still live. I'm going to double check your question. Show live chat. There it is. How do you know the value? Do you use NADA? No, I don't use Kelley Blue Book. I don't use NADA. I just kind of know what this car's worth, because it's there's a value just because I sell these cars all the time. This is something that I can sell for $3,500 easy. During tax time, it might even bring $4,000, but this is $3,500. Worst case, a $3,000 car. I'm going to use market value for that. So I'm going to check Craigslist. I'm going to check Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to see what other similar vehicles are being listed for, and I'll know roughly what my margin is. NADA and Kelley Blue Book will not be accurate at all on this vehicle, most likely, just because it's what is it, a 2006? It's 12 years old now. It's just not going to be right. So it's about to bump up. I think we have a box truck up in front, currently bidding. So I'm going to let this box truck pull ahead. We're going to walk in. Like I said, you're not going to hear me, but I'm going to have the phone situated where you can at least see what's going on. And yeah, from there you'll hear what it sounds like to be in an auction. So I think we're about to walk. Okay, they're just actually starting the bidding on the box truck. Most vehicles are in front of you inside the auction for around 10 to 15 seconds. These vehicles are going to pull ahead. They're going to stop. They're going to announce anything that needs announced. If it's a salvage title, if there's anything that needs announced. Some things are required to be announced. If it's salvage, if there's frame damage that they know of, if there's an odometer discrepancy that they know of, those things have to be announced. A bad transmission, a bad engine, those things don't. So that was why I came last night, looked at everything, but the vehicle will be there, and it'll probably pull out before we're even done bidding. We're going to walk in right now. I'm going to turn the phone around, and you won't hear me talk, but you can see if I stick my hand out, you know that I'm bidding. So here we go.
All right, we got a little alley right here for you then. I tell you what we're going to do. Sold $6,000. $254. Right, here it again, number 118. Right, everything looking at here. I'm looking at here. And right really looking at here. 118 right here. I'm looking at here. I'm looking at here. 18 right here. Okay, readily guaranteed. Title here. Finally, here, 500, 600, 600, 700, 800, 9,000, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, 13, get it out, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, Alex, 15, 15, get it out, 15 on that bid.
All right, so I think our video actually cut out there for a second. I had a phone call that came through. So hopefully you saw me bidding. We bought that for $14, and sometimes I forget what I actually paid for them. I'm pretty sure it was $1,400. I was throwing in my hand. Usually the number they're saying, so if they're saying $1,500, $1,500, $1,500, that means I'm at $1,400. I'm pretty sure I paid $1,400 for that one. That's horrible. The phone call kind of threw me off. So that's the process. I bought that for $1,400. I'm going to take it back. I need to detail. My detail guy will probably spend 3 hours on that. That cost me $30 because I pay him $10 an hour. Once we get it detailed, the scuff hopefully will come out. It could buff out. Worst case, I have to have that bumper painted for $100, $150. I think that's going to buff out. There's not going to be any trouble there. So I'm going to have roughly, let's say, 14. There'll be a buy fee, so that'll probably be a $200 or so buy fee. So that's 14, that's 16. I'm going to be in it for under $2,000. Tax time, I think I could get 35 easy. So that's a roughly, I feel like a guaranteed profit of $1,500. If I can have less in it from a detail, whatever, it could be more, but minimum I'm gonna make $1,500 on that car. $2,000 is definitely possible, especially with tax time coming. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do hit the 2, but 15 minimum. So that's car flipping from an auction standpoint. Now that's way different than going and buying from an individual. I can buy that car all day on Craigslist, and I say all day, it would take some time, but I can buy that vehicle for the same amount I just paid for it on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace. It just takes more time. That was I saw your question, John. That was a 2006 Mercury Montego. Nothing special, but it's leather, it's nice. In the $3,500 to $4,000 price range, it's leather, it's gonna be it's good shape, it's gonna be clean once we're done with it. The scuff will be gone in the front, so it'll sell well. Especially this time of year, tax time is why I'm buying vehicles in this price range, because people are gonna have cash in their pocket. They're gonna get a $4,000, $5,000 check in the mail, and they're gonna take that and spend it on a car. And I need to have those cars ready when they are coming. So that's the process from an auction. I can buy that car online, it just takes time. I bought that's 5 cars that I've bought. It would take me a couple weeks to assemble that many cars on Craigslist, which is why I do have my dealer's license, because it helps me with the process. It expedites that for me, so I can have more going on car-wise, and I can spend my time building the business and also building this community that we have here at the Car Flip. So if you're not a member of the Car Flip Facebook page, I would love to have you there. I know this is YouTube, but if you go to thecarflip.com, put your email address in up at the top, you'll get a link coming to you for the Car Flip Facebook group. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would love to have you subscribe, and you can see more videos like this. We're not always doing live videos at the auction, but we have live videos every now and then. We're going to be trying to do more of those. I'm going to jump off of here because I do have a few more cars coming up, but we've done a couple of these at the auction. I've not actually bought one live, so I'm glad we actually had one that actually bought. So if you guys have any questions, any follow-up questions, if anyone's watching this in the future, post a comment down below if you have a question. I would love to answer that. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.